Oh, a stepping stone, I guess, in Zelda's history and everything. So this is the so just as a Zelda fan or something who's kind of grown up like without the internet or something, just you know what, don't really buy into the negativity or anything. When it comes to Zelda games or something, is that it's they're still like if you compare it to like I just don't think it deserves the criticisms or anything of like being listed as really horrible video games or something. It might be mediocre by your standards or something, but I think there really is a big difference between what you call a bad video game and just a video game that isn't for you. And so when we level that thing like with the internet or something and like I don't know, like going with the popular trolls or something, just like stamping down to the ground. It just doesn't seem worth it to me. And this can also apply to other series though too. Like for example with Resident Evil, I know that 4 was considered the best, and I know 5 and 6 don't really follow the formula or anything. And you know what? I know that. I admit it. Like I like 5 and 6 more because I like the third-person shooting aesthetic and things. And I've never really been a fan of the earlier games. I've never really liked the stiff controls and things. And I can understand why a lot of people don't exactly like 5 or 6 or something. And I can see why people avoid them. But I wouldn't consider them bad video games. I mean, they're still brilliantly functional. They still have really good graphics, and they still have a fluidity to their gameplay and everything. And what I'm pretty much getting at with this point or something is that we focus so much on the negative stuff of video games. Why do we do it? Seriously, why do we do it? Why can't we ever look to the positives of video games? Like, why can't we look for every single excuse to bash on them? It's really not worth it or anything, because video games at the end of the day are supposed to bring you joy. They're supposed to bring you happiness and things. And you want to, just like with books and movies or something, there's every point or something that we can look to the negative side of things, but you don't exactly have to. Because a big part about video games is that just they're like toys or something. We should be looking for wonderful ways that we can bring out the positives or something and look to those things. Like I'll go back to the Resident Evil example because this is a big one. Resident Evil 6, I know a lot of people, they kind of don't like the game or something, but there are quite a few positives or something. I really like that they included from the 5th one. Like, for example, with the AI or something, I didn't really like from the 5th one that you had an AI that had its own health and that she can like use the items or something without your consent or something. I really like in 6 or something that your AI partner is now invincible and has unlimited ammo, because you don't have to worry about any type of supplies or anything that you have to loan to her or anything. And because she has invincible health, all of the game overs are now on you now. It's not anything about her now. And she can actually help you out of some tight situations now, which is brilliant. I mean, that was the big thing from 5 or something. But yeah, that's the funny thing though, is that you can try and look for positives in your video games to make them more tolerable. And you know, they might not be great video games or something, but there really is a difference between games that are actually pretty bad or games where we just invent problems to try to make them bad. You see what I'm saying? Is that with Superman 64 and Bubsy 3D, those are actually bad video games. They fail on every single front, and you can't find a positive out of them. And that's what makes them really bad video games. But when it comes to Zelda games, or like with Resident Evil 5 or 6, or I don't know, with all of these different video games, we try to invent problems with them. And why do we do it? I mean, with Ocarina of Time or something, as an example from Legend of Zelda or something, he only shows up for like 5, 10, 15 seconds in the game. But yeah, when you go to the Countdown community or when you go to Zelda or something, people treat it like it's the freaking plague. Why do we do it? He's just there to help out the first-time player, and you know what? He's gone in 15 seconds. Why? And he only shows up like, what, 5 or 6 times in the game or something, and like breaks the pace or something. But you know what? Your menu item does that from Ocarina of Time. When you have to push start and you have to select an item for your C button or something, you have to break the pacing of the game. So just for the sake or something, that you have to put an item into your slot. And then all of a sudden when Gabor does it, or when Navi does it or something, it's considered a bad thing. Do you see what I'm saying? Is that we just blow all of these problems or something like out of proportion or something with Zelda. And you know, there's nothing wrong in saying what you like and dislike or something from Zelda or something, but in any sense of the word, I don't consider any Zelda game bad. I think they're all beautifully well put together, and you know what? I have my preferences and things. You know, there are some I like more than others, and that's fine. That goes for every Zelda player or something, but you know what? That even goes for the top 35 3D Zelda dungeons, or with the hated dungeons though, as well. As that, even though that I don't really have a I don't have a really strong thing or any big hatred or something towards any of those things. It's like, even though that I put even the Stone Tower Temple as my least favorite 3D Zelda dungeon or something, and I know some people didn't like me or something, but oh well, that's my honest opinion. People don't like it, then you know what, just go to the popular crowd, I guess. But even though I put that at number 35, when I went back to go and play it or something, I don't really hate it. I mean, it's still functional as it is, so it's not. It didn't do anything to really break the pacing of what a Zelda game usually does. So, at the end, it's just a matter of preference. It wasn't really anything where I just like throw my controller and just all of a sudden say, "Oh, you know what? I'm done." Because Zelda overall, what makes it a brilliant series is that they're well put together games. So I think when it comes to like dungeons or like when it comes to the games or something, we get so far in trying to nitpick these things, but really they're still well put together, despite however we paint it or something. So I guess what I'm saying is, yeah, I guess you guys get the point by now. But my final thing that I just want to say to this vlog is that, you know what, don't invent these problems. Seriously, like, if games are actually good or something, or if they have positives, and you know what, you can balance out the positives and the negatives and everything with video games too, and there's nothing wrong with that or something, but don't go strictly for the negative things like when it comes to video games or with Zelda games or something, because video games at the end of the day, they're supposed to bring you joy. They're supposed to bring you that positive stuff or something. And you know what, when we just get so much into this river that we call the internet or something, we just get dragged along with it, then video games at the end of the day, we're just throwing them out the window and just calling them a piece of garbage because they're not living up to our expectations that we want them to. And you know what, we're just drowning further and further into that negative pool of all this crap or something. But you know what, why aren't we ever fair to them? Why don't we ever look at the positives as well? We just look for one inconvenience. Oh, well, what do you know? That game is bad. One inconvenience in this game. Oh, you know what? That game must be bad because it has that one big inconvenience. Oh my gosh. I don't know. I don't mean to go cuckoo right there, but seriously though, enjoy your video games. They're meant to bring you that pleasure and that joy or something. Alright, I think I've talked about it like long enough or something, but I just wanted to leave a vlog with that, is that, you know what, none of the 18 Zelda games, they're not bad. You know what, I have my preferences and things, but look at the CDI games. Those are actually the ones that are actually pretty bad. And you know what, those might have a positive or something like when it comes to music and things, but gameplay-wise, they're pretty bad. And so, yeah, just as a Zelda fan who's kind of been there in the beginning, like before the internet like showed up, and you know what? You know what the internet did as soon as Majora's Mask came out? They just instantly hated on it. What happened when Wind Waker came out? People just instantly hated it. And you know what happened when Skyward Sword came out? Just instantly hated it. And you know what, people passed because people let those have it pass or something like sometime down the line because we actually got over ourselves. But we should have been doing that as soon as the games have been coming out. So that says something about the internet. Don't believe what it says. Video games are great. Zelda's great. And that's all I have to say about it. So, all right. I guess that's all I have. And I just wanted to get that off my shoulders. And Rabbid Luigi Countdown, that'll be coming up here in just a few minutes or so. So, all right. And I love you guys. I love that you're here, and I love that you guys sit here for these videos. I appreciate your audience and for your ears. And I really do appreciate all of you. And I guess that's everything that I had to say about that. So I'll see you in the Rabbid Luigi Countdowns, I guess.